We are back from Japan here on the Transformer Slag podcast, just in time for a Transformer Tuesday. We have a live stream from the Hasbro Pulse team. We got Mark from Transformers Head Design. We have Nate from the marketing team. And we have a lot to cover today here on the Transformer Slag podcast. We're going to give you all the deep cuts, all what's happening in between the lines, the stuff that wasn't said here on the live stream about our new product today. So let's jump into it like we always do. And we're going to start first with the deluxes. We have some aerial bots to cover here. We got Skydive and Fireflight, the last two members of our Superion team. It was designed by Mark with Hasui-san from Takara Tomy, and they are looking great. Very screen accurate, obviously, with the deco and the shape. The guns they come with are also based off of their animation model guns. It looks very cool. We finally got to see now how they look all completely combined. So now Superion is finally complete, and we have that all done. Again, going for that animation lead with everything. Nate mentioned that, they're very proud that they were able to get a combiner out in a full year because they want to learn from the mistakes that they did with Menasor, where there was quite a gap in between the limbs and the final combiner pieces, and it made it difficult for people to pick it up over a span of time. And then it leads to the secondary market being crazy and people taking advantage of some limbs being more expensive than others. So very cool. And also mentioning too, they said that there's a Scramble City element that is still maintained with these combiners. You could still mix and match from Menasor to Superion here. So that's very cool too, keeping that trueness to the lore. Heck, they even did it in the show too from the original Scramble City OVA series. So a lot of cool stuff going on there. They also posed a question, more specifically Nate. Nate was like, what do you guys think? And they wanted to hear the commentary of this. What do you guys think of what they're doing with commander classes right now? What they would like to see is the next combiner after Bruticus is done. And of course, Devastator has also been finished recently. So where do we want to go next with that? Me personally, I think the logical direction, we've been going Autobot, Decepticon, Autobot, Decepticon, Autobot. I'm thinking Defensor just makes sense. It's not even just a bias for me because I like Defensor. I just think that it just makes sense to be the next one to do. And then afterwards, you could go into those like 87, 88 combiners afterwards if you want to. But yeah, very cool. Dig it. Just, we're finally done our Superion, and then we're going to march forward to the next one. Deluxe class, we got our next of the original 13 here, Micronus Prime. This is a Mark design along with Kuniharu-san. Very cool. And I have to say, a very interesting take for the deluxe class price point. Something that is very unorthodox from what we've gotten up to this point with deluxes in the modern age, because we kind of have like a Micromaster Minicon kind of thing going on with a smaller figure, very similar to what was going on with RID 2015. And of course, what Micronus' design is pulling from more or less is his 2015 design from RID, but very much that version. But then also including like a vehicle / mech suit kind of thing going on there too. And it's, to me, I feel like this could be a way to also see how we could do pretenders in the future and stuff like that. I mean, there's a lot of really good ideas going on here, a lot of fun stuff. But I mean, even Jesse from Bakon made a really good suggestion that afterwards you could take this mold and do a repaint of Scrounge, the Autobot wheel, and Weasel, the larger one, and you could kind of have some fun with that. But I think it looks great. I just want to have all my original 13, and this is the next step to that. And the big takeaway I take from this is the fact that we're able to do something very unique from a part layout and doing like a different kind of play value in the deluxe class price point. You usually like to do like an armor or a vehicle or some side thing. You need that for a leader class or something. So shout out to Kuniharu-san, and of course Mark, who were able to kind of pull that off within the limitations of that. Also comes with the Chimera Stone. Once again, every original 13 member does come with one of the ancient artifacts, and he comes with the Chimera Stone. More on those ancient artifacts in a moment from Nate. Then we get into deluxe class, another finishing of the sets, much like how we finished our Superion. We're getting closer to completing our original 13. And now we finished our deluxe 1985 Insecticons. Venom, aka Venom, of course they can't have the trademark because of Marvel. Venom here, designed by Ejima-san along with Mark. Mark claims that he is the true leader of all of the Insecticons, and so that is his fanon lore, and I guess we're going to go with that for the time being. He has his little hatchet weapon. It could combine with his other weapon to make a bigger hatchet weapon. That's kind of a little nod to his original 1985 figure. And I mean, he looks great. Brand new tooling from the ground up. That was the big question with a lot of us, because Venom was the one where it's like, what do you do with this guy? You know, you have 3 other Insecticons where you could kind of figure out how you could have done those members, like Chop Shop and Barrage and stuff. But Venom was the weird one. Even me back then, I was like, are they going to take like Waspinator and do an extensive retool? No, they did something from the ground up. It looks great. It's extremely accurate to the original one. So shout out to them. Fantastic work. And like I said, now all the deluxe Insecticons are complete. That is why. Now, granted, getting that full set of deluxe Insecticons is multiple different box sets and, you know, all kinds of shenanigans to get it, you know, and Amazon exclusives. But at the end of the day, you are able to get them. They are out there. They do exist. What a time to be alive. And I say that ironically, but still, it's very cool that that happened. Voyager class now. Let's get into these. We got another one of our original 13, that in this case, Alpha Trion. This is a Hosui-san design along with Mark. While it's Alpha Trion, it's using quite a few different design cues from different parts of Alpha Trion's lore. Alpha Trion essentially had 3 animation model designs. He had his A3 design from the early pre-war days against the Quintessons. And then he had his like War Dawn design, which was his younger version, but before becoming the Alpha Trion that we know today in the show. And this is what this one's based on, his War Dawn design, which is his younger version when he rebuilt Orion Pax into Optimus Prime. And it's kind of funny because he has this design here in a set that also has the aerial bots, which were heavily featured in Mordon, so it kind of all works out really nice. His alt mode is actually based off of an unused IDW like spaceship design for Alpha Trion that Casey Collar did many years ago. So nice that they also pull some DNA from some other ideas of the past to kind of like give him a nice alt mode and everything. Weapons wise, man, he's got something that's speaking to me. He comes with the Covenant of Primus and the Quill, so he technically comes with 2 ancient artifacts here. And the Covenant of Primus opens up, has a couple of pages that you could flip through. One of those pages we could see has written Cybertronian there that says "Till all are one." So very, very cool. His Autobot emblem that's on his ab region actually comes off like it did in the episode, I believe it was called Forever is a Time Coming or something. I think it was Forever is a Long Time Coming was the name of that episode. It was a season 3 episode, and it became the coder remote that A3 used. So there's a nice little throwback to that ancient Cybertronian history too. A lot of great stuff packed in here from a lore standpoint for Transformers. So I love everything that's going on here. If anything, the only negative is now, because this is clearly the War Dawn version, and the only negative, and it's not a negative at this figure, it's a negative of what we got before. We had that Hero is Born 2-pack that came with an Alpha Trion with an Orion Pax. Now that Hero is Born Alpha Trion kind of doesn't serve a purpose anymore. So this one here will be clearly replacing that one in my collection, because that'll be the much more on-the-nose one here, and it's looking great. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Again, the 13 have been my go-to with Age of the Primes in terms of like day one purchases, just because I finally want to now complete that full set and get those original crew guys. Great stuff. We got a repaint here and a retool. We got Flatline. He's a repaint retool, Voyager class, of course, of the Armada Red Alert that we got. I didn't expect that one on my bingo card. We do know that we're going to be getting a repaint of Armada Red Alert at some point, supposedly of the Powerlink color scheme. But at the time being, we do have this one here. Again, it's Flatline. It's based off of the IDW character that was created by Andrew Griffith a while back, which back then when he did, and this was a while back, Andrew Griffith was kind of like basing Flatline off of like as like a repaint retool of the Generations Thrilling 30 Deluxe Class Trail Cutter, aka Trailbreaker. And so, I mean, look, they're both kind of SUV kind of things. They're obviously two very different kinds of SUVs. So they're just kind of pulling from that. New head sculpt, new hand, fist tooling, and stuff like that, based off of the IDW character. So it's one way to own Flatline. I have a feeling they're just trying to make something from this Red Alert mold and just get some mileage out of it. And then we're going to obviously get the PowerLink version later with the Minicon, and then they'll call it quits for this, unless they could get maybe like an Inferno repaint out of it or something. It is what it is, so it's Flatline. Take from it what you will. If you're a big IDW person, you like your obscure characters, it's one way to go about it. Then we got leader class here. Of course, we're talking Onyx Prime. Again, nothing really new. This was already shown to us in the past, especially at conventions and stuff. All we know is we got some shout outs to Aaron Archer and Ken Christensen here, who were the original designers of this character. We know about the triptych mask. We know a lot about this. The only takeaway and why I bring up this guy here is Nate mentions that you got to go out of your way to get all the original 13 and get all the original 13's artifacts that come with them, because they have something special planned later on if you collect them all. So we don't know what that is. We can't figure it out yet because it doesn't look like they combine or something. So there's something special planned later, so just make a note of that. With Onyx Prime, you got to get him to get the triptych mask along with all the others, because something is coming. Then we get into some exclusives here. We have an Amazon 2-pack, which is a Autobot Sandstorm, the leader class, and the deluxe class Sludge Slinger. These are repaint retools, or in this case, one of them at least is a straight up repaint. The other one is a repaint retool. The Autobot Sandstorm, it's the leader class repaint retool that we got. New show accurate head. They, painted to be more screen accurate with the fists and stuff being black. It's something that I was not surprised was going to happen sooner. When I saw the first version, I'm like, oh, they're going to do the show one later. So you get that early, it's the brand new figure purchase. And then you get the more accurate purchase later on for collectors. The Slug Slinger is just a repaint of that original Titan's Return mold, which sadly, because it's that Titan's Return mold, it isn't like a true Target Master like Slug Slinger is. They went with a black-blue kind of coloring, half and half. That's more his Rebirth Season 4 colors, so that's the way they're going with it. Again, it's something that's one of those figures where I'm like, we haven't reached the Apex version of them yet. I mean, there was a Legends version of the Titan's Return one where it still was a Headmaster, but at least it included the Caliburst Target Master as an extra with it, and it was a brand new tooling there. I don't know why they didn't take that Caliburst Legends version and just made that part of this set here with Amazon. I'm pretty sure they would have been fine with it being $5 more if it cost that in the costing at the end of the day. But it is what it is. People are going to be buying it for the Sandstorm to get an extremely screen accurate Sandstorm for themselves. The Slug Slinger will just be kind of the weaker side element item, and we'll probably get another Slug Slinger at some point when they start doing Target Masters proper. You know how it is. It is what it is. And again, we have another exclusive here. This is the Fan Channel exclusive, and this one's very exciting. We got the G2 Dinobot 2-pack. 2 leader classes. We got the G2 Slug, aka Slag, and the G2 Snarl in the colors that I predicted they were going to go with, because while they could go with maroon, they could go with green, they obviously went with the green for the Triceratops and the maroon for the Stegosaurus, aka Slug, aka Slag, and Snarl. And looks great. Love it. It's fantastic. Whenever it's G2 and it's a Slag, I always call it, the Transformer Slag podcast colors with the greens. And so that's fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. This was an Evan Brooks work here. Evan Brooks did the deco on these ones. So very, very cool. Nate also gave a little bit of a teaser saying, spoiler, the other last 2, because we already got the G2 Grimlock, we got the Agumon Grimlock, and now we're just missing, of course, our Brontosaurus in that of Sludge, and our Pterodactyl and Swoop, and they're going to get their G2 treatment, the unreleased G2 treatment, no doubt, which I'll just post on the screen, their colors there. And we'll have our complete, obscure, unreleased, and released G2 Dinobots in some shape or form. Very, very cool, that one. And we got one last multi-pack here. We got Revenge of the Fallen multi-pack celebration for the Autobots, and now we're going to get a Revenge of the Fallen multi-pack celebration now for the Decepticons. And this is an Evan Brooks recolor, again with these ones, taking those previously existing molds and giving them a premium treatment, and also an opportunity for people if they did not get the originals. We got here in this box set, we get a Leader class The Fallen, a Voyager class Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, and the Deluxe class Revenge of the Fallen Soundwave. So if you didn't get any of these guys, you're in luck. They're going to be available here in a multi-pack in way better painting than their individual Studio Series versions. So that's fantastic. And everything I talked about up to this point is going to be on pre-order live 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Hasbro Pulse. If you're hearing my voice early, then just wait it out. If you're hearing it late, rush over there and hope that it didn't sell out yet. There is going to be another live stream later on. There's going to be a live stream with Evan very, very soon. And he's going to be covering the other Studio Series stuff, as well as some pipeline teasers and other things that weren't mentioned here today, as well as a little bit of San Diego Comic-Con, because both Nate, Evan, and Mark will be at San Diego Comic-Con. He wasn't at it last year, but so Mark will be there at San Diego along with Evan and Nate and the whole Hasbro team and stuff. So check it out. Pre-orders start right now as we speak, as you're hearing my voice here, but hopefully it's not too late. And everything's popping off. Thank you again for listening to the Transformer Slag podcast and keeping you educated, entertained, and informed, and with all the little stuff in between like we always do. And I'm back now. No more Japan trip. I'll show you guys some cool stuff on the weekend on the live stream and all the craziness during our adventures on our business journeys. And that's it for now. We'll talk to you in the near future.